So today I'm going to talk more about taking care of an orchid when it is blooming. Look at this. So it is summer in my country, and this is not the blooming season of orchid, but I still have orchid flowers to enjoy. Just because I didn't cut the spike. I didn't cut the spike, so on top of it, it grew some more flowers, and I just let it grow. And now I have two little flowers to enjoy, and you can see here, it is a little bit small. It is smaller than normal flowers in the blooming season, but it's okay. And I don't want to give it more fertilizer or any types of chemical products to have bigger flowers, because I know that this is not the blooming season, so the flowers cannot as beautiful as they are in blooming season. So just let it be. I just want my orchids bloom in its own way. I just enjoy it. Actually, when I force it to bloom in this season, it's not something natural, so I don't make it stressed so much. For example, I will cut the flowers after several days. I don't let it stand and fall off by itself, because it's kind of hard for the orchids, because it takes a lot of energy to grow and keep these flowers, and it is not its blooming season, so it's even more hard for it to do so. And now I'm going to talk about how to take care of it when you enjoy the flower. Let's get started. Okay, so when you have a blooming orchid like this, or you buy an orchid from the store, and you see that it has some flowers and you don't know how to take care of it, and you try your best to give it fertilizer and water, and you think that because of those things your orchids will be strong and it can have enough energy to take care of the flowers up here. But actually, when your orchid is blooming, it's time for you to stop any kind of fertilizer, even though you use chemical products, or even though you always use natural products. It's time for you to stop using fertilizers for them. So the first thing that you need to know is that at this point, your orchids actually doesn't need fertilizer. It only needs water, and it is kind of sensitive in this situation. And don't give it too much water. You can see here, I let this dry. I let the medium dry before I start to water it. And as I said before, this time the orchid is kind of sensitive, so don't try to spray water on the leaves, just the roots, only the roots and the medium, so that your orchids will have enough water to keep the flowers. When you buy an orchid from the store, you need to check the medium before you water, because sometimes people use other medium to grow the orchid, so you don't know about the medium and you just water it as you usually do with other orchids at your home, and you realize that it is too much water for the new orchids, but it is too late, and your orchids, when it has so many water and it is wet for a long time, the root will be rot, and after that the orchids will be really weak, and it takes a lot takes a lot of time for the orchids to recover. So be careful when you water for your orchids. Just water the orchids enough so your orchids will not have to suffer from too much water. And look at this. I water my orchids almost every day because it is summer in my country and it's kind of hot and dry. It is really hot and dry, so I'm going to water it until all the medium is wet. And after that, I will put this orchid outside, so I have to take care of it to make sure that after 30 minutes it will be all the water will be drained and it's not wet inside. It's not wet inside at all. It's just enough water for the orchids to absorb to the roots and all done. There's no water inside the pot after 30 minutes. If you use a lot of moss like this, you will see that after 30 minutes the moss will not dry completely. So if you use the moss, you have to be careful, because when this moss keeps the water for a real long time and you put this in a hot place, this will be really hot and it will ruin your roots. So please take care of the medium, especially when your orchid is blooming, because it's really easy for them to get rot. It is really weak now. When it is carrying flowers, it's really weak because it takes all energy to take care of the flowers, so it's kind of weak. And I usually water my orchids every day. Let's say that once or twice a day. It depends, but it is not something that you can do just like, I want to water this orchid, so I will water it now, and tomorrow I will not do it, and the next day after tomorrow I will not do anything to the orchids, and then after that I realize that it's really dry and then I give it too much water. No, I don't do that. You should have a schedule to water your orchids so that your orchids will not be stressed. You know, it's really easy for it to get stressed if you give it water or fertilizer as you want. You know, it needs a schedule. Remember this. It is time for it to take care of the flowers, so it doesn't need fertilizer. But after I cut the flowers, I will give it fertilizer again, and I will give it fertilizer and water every day, almost every day. But I have to have a plan for it. I have to have a schedule for it. For example, I will water it in the morning every day, and I will give it a little bit of pineapple enzyme. It's just an example, but I will do it every day to make sure that it will not be stressed about the water and fertilizer. You know, too much water or less water can lead to stress, but more important thing is that you don't have schedule to take care of your orchids. You give it water and fertilizer anytime you want, and then your orchids cannot understand the routine and it will be really stressed about that. So the thing that I want you to remember is that give it enough water. When it is blooming, just water for several weeks, especially in blooming season. It needs water to keep the flowers. It doesn't need fertilizer at this time, so just give it water, and after several weeks you can go back to the routine. You can give it more fertilizer. That's it. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.